Hey everyone, today we're going to be doing something a little different. I've noticed this trend kind of going around for some stuff, but no one's done it with LDOE, which really surprised me. So, here we go. Ranking all 7 seasons in Last Day on Earth. So keep in mind that this is my opinion. Everyone's got one, so tell me yours below. But these rankings are just my opinion. So coming in at the very, very bottom, we have Season 4. Season 4 was by far the weakest of all of the seasons. Basically, what it did is it took the least favorite part that everyone didn't like from Season 3 and made that the main focus of the entire season. Yes, they did have some cool stuff like the camera, but for the most part, the season was overall a little bit disappointing. I also did find it kind of weird that points grew exponentially within the first week or two, and then just decided to stop at 42,300 and just stay that way. I know myself just decided to give up, but when I noticed that the points just decided to stop growing, then I pushed for it and I got it. The ice cream truck was pretty nice, although unfortunately if you didn't get it, there isn't a way to get it again. But Season 4, to me, was probably the worst of all the seasons. Coming in at where we have Season 7, the current season that we're in. Now, Season 7, the heist is definitely interesting. It's the first time we actually get to use, different kinds of skills, like the sneak, to complete a challenge, instead of just going guns blazing and blowing everything up in the LDOE world. The quests to do the heists are really interesting. For example, leading this AI in the sewers, or the generator, although the motorcycle one's kind of annoying, but we're going to ignore that. It's not too difficult for new players, which is a really, really good sign, because sometimes seasons do struggle to bring the balance between old players and players like me who have too much resources. Although, personally, I find that the rewards to complete the heist afterward, once you get these bike badges, after you unlock the skull backpack, the rewards from these packs seem to be lackluster at best. It seems like a majority of the community appears to agree with me on this one. I see a lot of people complaining about the loot you can get. There's some good stuff, but all in all, it feels kind of lame. So coming in at number 6, we have Season 6. Now, I was honestly debating between Season 6 and 5 to put at the number 6 slot. 6 was new and interesting. It brought these AIs, Chuck, Vivian, Harry, etc., but nothing really stands out to me long term in terms of stuff. I mean, the sewers was really interesting. It was nice to see that, but I kind of wanted to see permanent sewers, although they did tie it into 7. It's the ones that introduced backpack skins. Season 6 was the one that preceded it. But it's where we start to see a noticeable improvement in the quality in terms of daily tasks started to cut down on, say, tasks from Bunker Alpha or requiring on a time-sensitive limited basis, which was a good sign. And I'm sure you can guess what the number 5 slot it's going to be. It's going to be Season 5. Now, to me, Season 5 was fun. It had the poster hunt, which was really interesting, something new and innovative that we haven't ever seen from LDOE before. But I'm still kind of annoyed that I had to scrap my video about the posters last minute. Might have ruined the whole season for me, if I'm being honest. Season 5 was the one that introduced backpack skins, which was a really interesting change from the normal chopper skin. Every single update, this one brought the sports backpack, which looks pretty nice, and a couple others, which also look pretty good. I enjoyed the bear hunt most of all, and although I found week 1 to be slightly lacking in terms of getting vials to unlock bosses, to get teeth, which would ultimately lead into the kitty backpack. I thought it was kind of a lot in terms of the process, although it's just one backpack, and it does kind of have to make up for the usual skin to season system. And the mortar event was actually decent. It was the first time we got to see the mortar. I think that event was just a little bit overhyped. Everyone thought we were going to get the mortar. We ended up just getting AI that used the mortar. But at the very least, we got to see the zombie bear, which was an interesting change. And for the top 3 slot, at number 3, we have Season 1. Now here's where my opinion gets a little different than yours. Despite the popular opinion, I enjoyed the 20-note events. I knew it was going to be something that very few pushed for once we really started to realize how tough these notes were to get, so it finally gave me a purpose to push beyond what most players normally would. And I'm sorry, devs, I might have been the cause for the riot, because everyone, and I mean everyone, was angry at the rewards. The tasks for Season 1 were difficult. Kill 500 sailors, honestly, is way too difficult, especially to now where it's just deal X damage or something like that. But what really shines in Season 1, which kind of disappeared in later seasons, if you've seen my other video, you'll know what I'm talking about. Coins. You used to be able to buy season levels with coins. Somehow, after Season 1, they just kind of disappeared. Although, Season 1 did have a couple other minor issues. Like, the shipwreck was alright. It wasn't as good as I think most people were overhyping it to be, myself included. I really expected something exciting to be there, and then when it was just some zombie boss with no loot, it was kind of disappointing. The only reason to really go there was because of the quest, but without the quest, the shipwreck was kind of a disappointment compared to the first shipwreck. But again, I think the 20-note event, and because I'm biased, because YouTube definitely pulled up this and made it so high on my YouTube list. Coming in at the number 2 slot, we have Season 2. Season 2 brought the introduction to the questline, the main LDOE update season to have a questline. And the questline was super interesting. It told the story of Barker and Kevlar armor. Although what I do wish that LDOE did with this season was that they allowed people to complete the entire questline as soon as they possibly wanted. Because it was a little bit annoying having to wait on like Note 11 or something like that. And especially, the clickbait side, but we're going to ignore that. But the questline itself was pretty strong, especially at the end with the Kevlar and all those twists. And LDOE was definitely listening to people when they said that the 20-note event was too hard. They made it really easy to get 20 notes, and hence putting the notes as part of the questline. Now the quest brought 3 new bosses, which, although new, should be in quotes, because they really just revised some old boss mechanics, like Alpha Greg. But it didn't really bring down the season for me. And it brought infected weapons, which, I mean, there was an ongoing debate about which is better. Infected weapons versus modded weapons. Infected weapons being really, really strong against zombies, and modded weapons for, like, raiders or something like that. But all in all, Season 2 was a very, very strong season, and definitely something that most players will remember. And at my number 1 slot, if you've seen my video Q&A, you would already know the answer to this, but Season 3 was all-time my favorite season. And let me explain before you go leave. Here's why my opinion's a little different. 1, they introduced the long-awaited ATV many, many players have been waiting for. They introduced Bunker Bravo, a challenge I could finally go guns blazing at and not have to, hold back. It was a tough challenge. I died a bunch on my first attempt, especially floor 3. Bravo floor 3. Pun not intended. And then Fort Moss, the most controversial part of Season 3, and probably the reason why most people do not like it. I actually enjoyed Fort Moss. I beat the entire event before the update even released, which was really funny. And then from the LDOE YouTuber point of view, honestly, this update was the greatest thing ever. I was literally skyrocketing. Season 3 was the greatest the channel ever did, even beyond the old chopper gas tank, which really does take a lot to beat. So I'm probably biased here, but I enjoyed Season 3. Overall, definitely the strongest of the seasons, and not to mention, they brought fishing. Fishing's okay, but with everything else, it's just, there was so much brought to LDOE that Season 3 was just stood out. But, in conclusion, these are just my opinions. Everyone's got one, so tell me your opinions down below. Did I rank these seasons wrong? If so, how would you rank these seasons? Let me know all of that down below. Do you think Season 8 is going to come and top Season 3? Do you think Season 8 is just going to flop harder than Season 4? Let me know all of that down below. Make sure to subscribe because we're going to be dropping a... So yeah, hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up, and I will see you in the next one. ZD out.